Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to continue on with questions and answers, and boy, there's some great questions. So let's dig in here and get going. So Samarium Yukimo wants to know, does Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, do they have exaltation or debilitation signs? Like the main planets in Vedic astrology? Well, they definitely have signs that they're more powerfully ruled, such as Uranus is going to be more like Aquarius, Pluto is more like Scorpio, and Neptune's more like Pisces. And also the houses that are relative to those signs are very much like these outer planets. But in terms of their exaltation, no, I don't have exaltation signs for them. And there are suspicions, of course, in Western astrology, but I don't use the outer planets in terms of their rulerships of the houses, and that way, the way I look at them, but they are more, obviously, more powerful in certain signs. But most of all, when I'm looking at the outer planets, I want you to realize that they rule our subconscious and psychological mind, not the physical manifestation of what's going on in the body and in this world. So it deals with the psychology and it deals with the masses. So it deals with all the people combined throughout the world, and they affect world events. So let me continue on here. Another question. Andrew B says, how come I feel more like my Western astrology sign rather than my Vedic sign? It's because everyone's looking at Vedic astrology as this psychological thing, psychology about your personality. And it's so much deeper than that. And like I said before in another question and answer, what you'll find is if you go to the dispositing planet of the planets, that will give you the reason why you feel a certain way about yourself. Plus the houses they're in is enormous. The houses really do flavor the planet's energy. So it's not just I'm a Virgo or a Pisces. It's deeper than that. Please take this to the next level. Okay, but I do want to say this, which you said, Andrew, about Mick Jagger. Can he really be a Cancer? Well, let me just say, I pulled up his chart because I agree with you. He is so into performing, entertaining. That is Mick Jagger. And when I pulled up his chart, it made so much sense. As a matter of fact, I got it right here. So he has what? About 4 or 5 planets in Leo, but they're in the 3rd house. What you guys don't realize, the 3rd house is the house of entertainers, of performers, and all those planets, especially being in the sign Cancer. Cancer's actually one of the more expressive signs because it's cardinal. And not to mention the sun is there with Jupiter exalted in Cancer. It's the best placement the sun can Jupiter can be in. It's like more powerful in Cancer than in Leo. And the sun is conjunct Jupiter and Pluto. My God, this guy is bigger than life. This is Pluto and Sun, Jupiter conjunct in the 3rd house of performing entertainers. So there's so many variables that you have to take into account, not just always a Leo or a Cancer. It's actually ridiculous when I think about it anymore, because this is what you're really doing with astrology. You're taking it to analyze the whole chart. He even has Taurus ascendant, and with Taurus ascendant, Venus rules it, and Venus is in Leo. So his Venus is in Leo, and that's his chart ruler. And it's even in the nakshatra called Purva Falguni, which is the nakshatra of performers and entertainers. So you get a kind of drift of how I do this now. It's not just, oh, I'm a Virgo and you're a Libra, or Cancer, whatever, Leo. So anyway, okay, let's continue on with more questions. And boy, but that one, I had to look up his chart. You got me going, and I might even use Mick Jagger in one of my books. So thank you for that. That was great. Oh, and you also asked, this was Andrew, about April 22nd being a big release. The reason why I said that is because Rahu is going to shift out of Ardra into Mrigashira. The nakshatras are really what caused this huge pandemic. So we've got one of the planets moving out of that, going into Mrigashira on the 22nd of April. So there'll be a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but then we've got to deal with the recoup of all this. Remember this, they say the coronavirus is destroyed by heat. So summer's coming. It's going to be some better changes coming. Next. Let me see, Mr. Magardo. Are debilitated planets empowered when in Parivartana Yoga? In other words, when the moon, let's say the moon's in Scorpio, which is debilitated, and Mars is in Cancer, which is debilitated. Absolutely, that reverses everything. That is such a powerful Parivartana. It's like when you have these Parivartanas like this, and which means they're in mutual reception, the moon is in the sign ruled by Mars, and Mars is in the sign ruled by the moon. They exchange signs. It's just like they revert to Mars being in Scorpio and the moon being in Cancer. That's how it changes the energy. So, very good question. Can you consider the nakshatras for Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto? Yeah, you can consider what nakshatras that they're in terms of the natal chart. Here's another thing. Later on, I noticed some questions about, do you look at the nakshatras in the divisional charts? No, I do not. I just look at the planets in the nakshatras in the birth chart. So I don't know, maybe that's a new technique, but I've never done it, and I don't think it's viable. Okay, I love this question. Brandon Harris says, oh, and the next one about the one before that, the nakshatras for the outer planets, was Powerful Soul that asked that. Now, Brandon Harris says, your personal recommendation for Jyotish textbooks. Why aren't you buying mine? I have 8 books I have published, and I have, the very first one is the textbook for my university called Eastern Astrology for Western Minds. If you come from a background of Western astrology, it's going to make sense to you because that's where I came from. I take it from the vantage point of our Western way of thinking so that you can understand Vedic astrology. I have 8 books. One is called The Power of Prediction. One is called, go to Amazon. All my books are there. Just search my name, Joni Patry. So Power of Prediction, Astrology, the Divine Order of the Universe. I've written so many, I can't remember. How to Make Money Using Astrology. Moon, Mind, and Consciousness. I just put a new one out. Neptune, Secrets, Illusions, and Scandals. And I did one on Rahu and Ketu and eclipses. Come on. That's a lot of information. Check it out. Oh, like this one, Jackie Hart. I'm interested in joining your training course in the near future and want to start some reading on Vedic astrology. Can you? Same thing. It's like my books. Check out Eastern Astrology for Western Minds. It is my textbook for my university. Okay, and check out my university. It is stellar. You get your own private tutor. You have 40 videos, 40 tests, and you have a private tutor that will help you. There's a student forum that you can talk to other people. The 6th semester, I will work with you personally, and you will be doing readings when you graduate. Absolutely, I will make sure that you are a professional astrologer when you graduate. That's the way it goes. And I also encourage all my students to become teachers and tutors themselves, to write articles, and even to create their own semesters and classes on the platform of UVA, University of Vedic Astrology. Okay. Okay, I don't, Ranjit wants to know, Ratan Tata has Jupiter in Capricorn in the second house. Why is he so wealthy when Jupiter is debilitated? Debilitations are just a planet. Most people have like a lot of Nichabanga, which means they can overcome the debilitation. So this is something to look out for. And I've seen, well, let's consider the Queen of England. She's got debilitated Jupiter in the second house, right? She's the richest woman in the world, but it's with Mars. So whenever you have a debilitated planet with an exalted planet, because Mars and Jupiter are in Capricorn, in the second house, it's completely nullified and it's changed. So you got to look at their dispositing planets. Plus, you also have to look at where debilitated planets go in the Navamsha. That completely changes their energy, especially in the second part of life. Okay, let's do one more. What effects have the nakshatras on the planets they rule? Not only the moon, okay, and planets in a birth chart. I mentioned that before, and this is a great question because all the planets are in nakshatras, and they have nakshatra, planets rule those nakshatras. So I look at the nakshatras dispositors. This gives a deeper essence of the chart, and this is actually real and true astrology. One more question. Somebody asked, Harish, wants to know about Chesapeake Energy. When will the company survive this recession? I think it will. It's like penny stock just about right now, but let's see what happens this year. It's a monumental year. I think by June, something's going to happen that's going to bring oil stocks up. So, and Allison says, I have a Donna Yoga in my chart. What does this mean? Donna Yogas produce wealth. They're wealth-producing yogas. And what a yoga is a union when you bring planets together. And what they do is they bring together the houses that they rule. So if you bring together two planets that rule houses 2, 11, 1, 5, or 9, any combination of planets that rule those houses, it will be wealth producing Donna Yoga. So with that, let's close today. And remember, if you would like to learn more about Vedic astrology, check out my university. Go to universityofvedicastrology.com. And if you would like to receive my free newsletter and get a consultation, go to my personal website, which is galacticcenter.org. Thank you.